as a nation, we're losing our identity and our culture due to us becoming a minority in many towns and cities. England needs to remain, and Britain needs to remain, a majority white nation. Nigeria needs to remain a majority black nation. If they start becoming a minority in their own country, it's wrong. And that's if the Japanese start becoming a minority in their own country, it's wrong. So that demographical change and replacement, every way you want to look at it, 33% of London's white English now. That's not right for the capital city of our country. And along with that comes the problems that we're all witnessing.
You're very focused on the issue of migration and the Islamification of Britain, it seems to me, for watching from the outside. I know you'll correct me. I know you ain't shy about doing stuff like that. How are we together going to overcome some of the challenges, like a significant number of Muslims live in Britain now and deserve to live there happily and safely? When it comes to a subject like illegal immigration, the clue's in the question. If it's illegal, then that's illegal. Don't have laws if you're not going to enforce them. But when it comes to finding harmony, I feel like because you are the most prominent voice and significant figure in this area, we have to find a way of having that conversation in a way that gives people room and a way back. Like, don't you want to be able to sort of walk past Finsbury Park Mosque or East London Mosque and be cool?
You'd be quite surprised. Muslims don't. You'd be quite surprised. Obviously, you get to see the little 60-second video when someone's wanting to hit me or fight me.
Yeah.
You'd be quite surprised by the reception I receive.
People respect you.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. When I see Muslims.
What? Good.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. Many people, I have some fascinating conversations. Like I say, I don't hate Muslims, but I don't want Islam to take over my country. I don't want the influence of it. I don't want Sharia. I don't want these problems.
You see me as an outsider of it, the difference between Tommy Robinson and Mark Collett, what's the difference? White nationalism, all that kind of stuff. What's the difference? What's Mark Collett believe in that you don't believe in?
He believes in white supremacy.
Right.
He believes.
So that's like all races are inferior.
To him. To white race, yeah.
And you don't believe that?
I'm from Luton Town, so I've never...
Black people, Sikhs, don't give them monkeys. It's just...
I don't give monkeys, but I believe that as a nation, we're losing our identity and our culture due to us becoming a minority in many towns and cities. So England needs to remain, and Britain needs to remain, a majority white nation. Nigeria needs to remain a majority black nation. If they start becoming a minority in their own country, it's wrong. And that's if the Japanese start becoming a minority in their own country, it's wrong. So that demographical change and replacement, every way you want to look at it, 33% of London's white English now. That's not right for the capital city of our country. And along with that comes the problems that we're all witnessing.
But hold on a minute. Why, if you're not a white supremacist, why are we drawing the distinction of white English and black English? Who cares? Like white English, black English?
Exactly the point I just made. So if I moved to Nigeria and white people started moving to Nigeria, would it be acceptable that they become a minority in their own country? Historically, this is 1,000 years of history of white Christian nation.
Got it. But that
doesn't mean that I don't believe. So I've got most of my mates who are black who are grown up in Luton. They're English. They class themselves as English.
Yeah.
Ethnically, they're not English. Culturally, they are. They're brought up as English. So I'd say my mates are English.
All right.
I stand with them.
But don't you think this gets complicated for me, right? Is say like Nigeria, they're not going to have, no one's going to move to Nigeria because there ain't no bleeding reason to move to Nigeria for cultural, political, and
it's only the white nations that are being flooded with mass immigration. And it's only the white nations who are supposed to tolerate and accept becoming a minority.
It's interesting. But Nigeria took some pretty hard hits in colonialism and loads of other ways that Nigeria got all striped up. What I'm interested in is what the future of the nation is in general. What I believe, Tommy, is I'm very, very sick and tired of ordinary people being lied to by people that are exploiting them. I'm tired of that. And I'm starting to wonder if even the concept of one nation with a centralised government is ever going to work again. I don't think it can, is the answer. I think as long as if you're able to replace the Labour Party with a reformed Tory conglomerate, it's going to be basically the same for the majority of people. You might see a little bit of change in the direction of whatever's
What do you replace it with?
Decentralised, direct, participatory democracy.
Direct democracy, which is the 5-star. Did you look at the 5-star movement in Italy?
In Italy, yeah, Beppe Grillo.
Yeah, they it. So direct. So if.
But they're Italians, Tommy. They wouldn't have been out of focus. They're all Mamma Mia, necking the pastas, and they out on the Vespers. Hey, Mamma Mia, chica cabaretta. You can't rely on them. Don't judge the English from the qualities of the Italians.
Historically, we always spoke about direct democracy, or political figures did, until we had the technology to do it, and then they've stopped talking.
Yeah, man.
So you could do direct democracy. If you had direct democracy, they could ask you right now as a British public. Technology could let us have it, and we could all say do you want mass immigration? And then it's to you, the people. We don't need 650 lying politicians who don't represent you anyway. Like the Labour Party now, about all the things they're bringing in and we're not in their manifesto. They can ask you, do you want to fund the war in Ukraine? No. Do you want to take the vaccine? No. Do you want mass immigration? No. So, and then you can have your voice, and then it's direct democracy. So I agree with you, but there's going to come a point in this country now where...
UK, you mean, yeah?
In the UK, where in another 10 or 15 years, if we had direct democracy, we'll all end up living under Sharia. Because they'll use democracy to end democracy. So we've got a time period here. I just wrote in my most recent book saying that we need direct democracy and we need it now.
I agree with you.
And if the demographic continues, we lose our cultural identity, which again cannot be allowed to happen in England. It can't. No. It's a Christian nation. It cannot be allowed to happen. So whatever we have to do to prevent that, and I don't see us preventing it without chaos. Anyone that's come to our country is a guest of our country. My mother come to our country as a guest of our country.
Irish.
Yeah, my mum come from Ireland. But all my mates, but they love the country. They've embraced it.
When you start like using your voice to start talking about and pulling the threads of power, they are terrified, mate. Because what they realise now, and this is the real problem, the real problem is this. The real problem ain't me or Joe Rogan or Charlie Kirk or you or anyone. The real problem is this. The technology exists now for instantaneous communication. The technology exists now for real direct democracy. If people start waking up, they're in serious trouble. Look at even something like Rupert Lowe and that Restore. Bang, 60,000 people overnight. You know, because Elon Musk reposts your content, you're still alive. If Elon Musk ain't doing that, you're finished. Like, you know, we are pioneers in a new world. We disagree about loads of things. And the thing that I want is I want to find a way for people of different persuasions that are anti-establishment to say, this is what we want. We want
You
this.
want to unite everyone against the establishment and
Yes.
believe in manipulating everyone.
Yes, I want that.
How do you unite? Yeah, I remember our last discussion, but my point was, how do you unite people who want to change the face of Britain forever, or they want to implement Sharia?
You've got to negotiate. That's unacceptable. I mean, that's unacceptable because it's bun by direct democracy. Like, you know, let's put, you know, if it was London wide only.
Yeah, it can't be London wide only because then London becomes controlled by Islam.
Do you think if London?
It already is, isn't it? It already is. We've got Mayor. Mayor Khan.
Do you think Sadiq Khan's the fact that Sadiq Khan is a Muslim is the most, like, a very significant aspect of him and his political position?
100%. I don't think he says it. No, even Shabana Mahmood says it. The most important thing to her is Islam. Now, that wouldn't be a problem.
Who's that?
Shabana Mahmood, the one who's going to be Home Secretary. Now, if you say the most important thing is Islam, well, what is Islam? Then we understand what are the structures, what are the belief systems of Islam. What does it believe in democracy? No. Does it believe in free speech? No. So the most important thing to her is something that doesn't believe in democracy, doesn't believe in free speech, doesn't believe in the same values that we believe in. So that's, for me, it's a problem. It's a big problem. And I think that the more influence Islam has, the less freedom we have. So it's totally alien. It's totally different to someone who, you've just said, I don't see you saying that the most important thing to you is Christianity. I don't see that as a problem because it's the value system that built the nation. It's what built us. It's not going to make the country change. If we put the most important thing in this country as the Bible, it's going to be the great country it was. Yeah. That's why everyone come here. Yeah. If we put the most important thing as the Quran, we become the shithole that they've all fled from. We become the shithole with zero values, zero freedoms. That's what it's going to bring. So that's why I see it as a problem.
How do you reconcile? I'm making a lot of assumptions here, but like, if your mum's Irish, I wonder what her idea, her attitude, and is she Catholic lady?
My mum's Catholic.
So what's her feeling about Catholic. British imperialism?
My mum's brought me up. My mum's brought me up to love Britain. My cousin Kev, his dad sat him down with the Irish flag and the English flag. This is my flag. You're from this nation. This is your flag. You're brought up here. You're grown up here. You're educated here. This is your country. Yeah. Wow. So that was Kev. So all of my mum's one of 8 children. All of the sons, some of the brothers. Some of her brothers were born in England. They're all patriotic English.
Amazing.
And I always say, but I said when the Polish come to Luton, I remember saying they're just going to be the new Irish. Yeah. So when they have kids and they have kids, they're going to be proud of their Polish heritage.
But they support they're going to support England the country in the World Cup.
Now, they're going to love England. They're going to be born in the country. They're going to adapt to it. They're going to culturally the same as it. So those sort of successful
assimilation,
and where the Irish aren't wanting to blow shit up, still going on about historical grievances with Britain. Well, they were with the IRA, but the Irish in England, the Irish that are bought there, the Irish that love the country, they've integrated and assimilated. They're not still.
Well, they'd have Irish pubs or whatever.
Yeah, that's where we all go.
So
when you're abroad,
hold on. So we're allowed to, like, because these are not questions where I'm trying to trip you up. Yeah. I'm actually trying to work out a way to move forward, right? See, like, Irish, it's good that there's some Irish culture in Britain, and that Irish culture comes from Irish people successfully assimilating. I do think that we're being up by migration. I do think that. I do think they're trying to destabilise domestic populations. I don't think you're wrong about that. The thing that I'm concerned about more than you, it seems, for who knows what reason, and who knows which one of us is right, and maybe neither of us is right, and we've got to work out our work together, is how do we find a version of the Irish pub that's with the already embedded Muslim population?
Well, they'll close down the pub, won't they? You won't have it. They'll demand that everything adapts to them, not they adapt to it.
That's not happening in a situation where you have direct democracy. In a situation where you have direct democracy, I recognise what you're saying. If there was a sort of a tipping point where the majority population was Islam, you could bring in Sharia law. I recognise that you're saying that. See what you said about your mum's family. You come in and you see yourself as English and British first. I think they don't care what our identity is, as long as we're serfs, as long as we shut our mouths and don't cause no aggro.
Thanks for watching the video. Have a look at this one over here, or join us Monday, Wednesday and Friday on Rumble.